Today's topic is equal parts fascinating and creepy. I started going down this rabbit hole like a couple of weeks ago, and I am still trying to dig my way out. Today we are going to be talking about the creepy concept of Mall World. If you're anything like me, then you know exactly what Mall World is, you just don't know that there's a name for it. So, what exactly is Mall World? People seem to define Mall World a little differently person to person, but to make it simply, Mall World is a dream world that you visit multiple times, that you keep coming back to. As far as I understand, the reason that they call it Mall World is because malls are a very common shared dream location. Lots of people are dreaming about malls, and a lot of their dreamscape, like the dreamscape world, extends from this dream mall. I personally don't quite share this. I don't have like a traditional mall in my dream world, but I still refer to my dream world as Mall World because it still follows this fascinating pattern of a world that reoccurs. It builds on itself, and I keep visiting this dream world over and over again. It actually freaked me out like spectacularly when I first found out that Mall World exists. I discovered this through Reddit, of course, as I discover most things. And on the Mall World subreddit, I was seeing so many posts that resonated with me to the point that it was just eerie. It messes with your head a little bit when you find out all these places you've been in your dreams, other people have been to. It freaked me out even more because I had just been discussing this topic with my boyfriend, but like I said, I didn't have a name for this dream world. I was just kind of talking to him and asking like, hey, do you have this dream world that you keep coming back to and it's all mapped together and you could like go from one location to another location and know all of these locations within your dream world? He did share that he has like a similar experience, but he was not nearly as freaked out by it as I was. There's just something so unsettling about your dream world working like similar to the real world, like chronologically, and having its own space where you know that this building is here. That's just weird to me because for most of my life, my dreams were totally random locations, random people, random events, like none of it really made sense. It was all stereotypical dream logic. But over the years, I find myself visiting Mall World more and more. And even though it's a bit creepy, finding out there's a name for it kind of put me at ease. It is just overwhelmingly fascinating to me that we share this freaking dream world. And I'm not saying everyone's Mall World is exactly the same because that is absolutely not the case, but they're similar enough to make you really question reality a little bit, or at least question the human brain and exactly how it works. So, some locations that are commonly visited in Mall World are, of course, malls, schools, superstores. Honestly, my own personal Mall World, like the actual mall, is more of a superstore. It looks like a gigantic Walmart just filled with different little stores. So in a sense, I guess I do have a mall in my Mall World, but that's not too strange in itself because obviously everyone encounters like schools, malls, bathrooms. That's not too weird that we'd all dream about those places. But what is super weird and super creepy is these dream locations seem to share similar distortions. For instance, this isn't one that I've come across exactly on Mall World, but it's just a really good example. In my dreams, stairs aren't like connected to each other. They're just floating platforms. And I know I'm always scared to climb the staircases in my dreams because I'm worried that I'll fall off the edge or fall between the stairs. And of course that never happens, but it's always something I'm worried about. One of the concepts that freaked me out the absolute most was when I came across a post about the Impossible Bridge. In the Mall World subreddit, everybody likes to refer to this bridge as the Impossible Bridge, and lots of people visit this bridge, including myself. I had absolutely no idea other people had this bridge in their dreams. Just listen, this is just so oddly specific that I can't believe we're all dreaming this shit. The Impossible Bridge is a bridge. For a lot of people, it's really steep. Mine actually isn't that steep, but still, it's usually a very steep bridge with a break in the middle. Like the bridge is broken in the middle, so you have to jump to get over this bridge. And for lots of people, they also say that there is a regular bridge totally undamaged next to it, like side by side with the impossible bridge. But for some reason, our dream logic brains never let us go on this normal bridge. We always either decide we have to take the impossible bridge, or for one reason or another, can't reach the regular bridge. And this is the case in my mall world. That's freaky as hell, isn't it? In mine, it's not very steep. It's kind of a flat bridge, actually. And in the middle, there's a giant break. And there's one rod, like think of those steel rods that are inside the concrete, like a rebar or something like that. But it's like this giant bar going from inside the concrete on each end. So when I have to cross this impossible bridge, I have to like cling or like tightrope walk over this fucking pole. And it's scary and freaky as shit. And if I just look like right over to the side, there's a totally normal bridge where you can see cars passing and people walking and everything is all good and safe. But here I am stuck on this fucked up broken ass bridge. And apparently that's a common dream. That totally freaked me out. I cannot believe other people dream about that bridge. Other similarities are the twisty, turny, fucked up like roller coaster highways. I definitely have those in my dreams. There's like a whole highway system and I know exactly where they go. And those are steep for me. They're like huge fucking like, it's like a roller coaster, like I said, but a highway. And that's scary as fucking shit, I'll tell ya. But I find it so interesting that not only do we share the creepy like weird highways, I could see that as being a psychological thing. Highways give anxiety, unpredictable twists and turns and steep valleys and stuff. I can see how anxieties might kind of bring forward that type of image. But like I said, these are highway systems that are always the same in my dreams. If I know I want to go to a forest, I have to go off of this exit. I know that if I want to get to this or that store, I have to go off this different exit. It's just so intricate and it's insane and it blows my mind. The human brain is freaking magical, like let's be totally real. Another one that really got me is the weird elevators. People seem to have weird elevators in their dreams and I thought I was the only one. I could have swore I was the only one. For me, the elevators don't have any walls at all. It's like a floating platform, kind of like the stairs I was talking about before. And this floating platform doesn't only go up and down, but like back and forth, left and right. It goes like all directions and it's very freaky and weird. And for me, the elevators don't stop. You don't push a button to stop. You just hop off on your floor. I have like super anxiety inducing architecture in my mall world. I don't know what the fuck is up with that. I don't know what my problem is. And these cities, these mall worlds become so intricate that people will map out their exact mall world. I have actually tried to do this, but every time I try, I keep thinking of like more and more places like, oh, I have to add that, and I run out of room. So I might keep trying so I can put something in this video, just kind of show a general idea of how my mall world is mapped out. It's really fun to go on the subreddit and look at other people's maps and kind of compare and contrast to your own map. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but I know I saw one there on Reddit that was like spookily similar to mine. Again, like I said, it freaked me right out to see just how close it was. There were some small differences, like where his mall was is where my dream house is, like where I live. But besides that, all the highways were in the same places. There was like a beach area that was in the same place. It was very weird, very, very weird. Another part of this that nobody can seem to make sense of is the idea of your dream house. Well, your mall world house. When you dream of being in your house, which house are you in? Is it your current actual real life house? Because for me, it is not. For me, it is like a warped version of an apartment I lived in years ago. I don't know why I consistently dream about that place because I've actually lived at 2 different locations since then, and I haven't lived there since 2020. So maybe it's something freaky to do with COVID, I don't know. Or that house was just emotionally significant in some way, or maybe I just dreamed about it as my Mall World house once, and that kind of cemented it into my Mall World. That's another very intriguing thing about Mall World, is that Mall World is not static. You might dream about the same places over and over, but those places might change slightly or even expand over time. Over time, you'll have completely new locations in your dream world. Just the other day, I remember dreaming about a particular location. It was like a picnic area next to a lake. I remember thinking to myself, I've been here once. Yeah, the park, the Mall World Park, is over there. My Mall World house is down the street, whatever. Like, I knew the location of exactly where this place was. I knew that I had visited this place one time before. And now that I've dreamt about it twice, I would guess that it's now a permanent fixture. And I'm guessing I'll be visiting that picnic area again. All these similarities are definitely super eerie, but another eerie part is we don't know what causes this. There are a lot of theories. I'm on the more logical end of things. I believe that there's something just with how the human brain works and how it generates images in our sleep between all human brains. So therefore, lots of people end up dreaming about the exact same weird shit because that's just how our brains work. Science doesn't fully understand how our brain works, guys. People like to believe that science has it all figured out, and we really don't. Especially when it comes to stuff that really isn't that detrimental, like understanding how our dreamscape fucking works isn't a huge deal in regards to science. Like, they're not going to be curing cancer with that or anything. They don't really care to study it that in depth. Not that they've never done dream studies, they obviously have, but I couldn't find anything in regards to studying, like, this extensive dream world known as Mall World. But, of course, Reddit is chock full of just insane theories regarding this. A lot of people don't believe it has anything to do with the human brain. In fact, some take a more spiritual or even conspiracy theory type of spin to it. Some believe that when you're going into Mall World, you are astral projecting. So your soul is like physically actually leaving your body and you're going to some spiritual realm where you can meet spirits and other people who are also astral projecting. But the most wackadoo theory that just takes me out. There are some people who believe that Mall World is like an extension of the simulation that we're living in, okay? And there are these creatures. I forget if there's a name for them or not, but there are these creatures there, I guess, that keep you inside Mall World. So these people who believe this theory insist that you cannot leave Mall World, or at least they won't let you leave Mall World, like the big scary they. And if you try to leave Mall World, they will either come for you or physically wake you up to stop you from escaping. And I don't know what they think are outside of the bounds of Mall World. I don't know what kind of like big truth they think is hiding over there. That's a thing people genuinely seem to think, and I don't know if they really believe that or if they're just kind of LARPing on the internet or what the deal is, but it's strange. It's super, super strange. Do you believe that the Mall World is like an extension of the simulation? Please put in the comments, because I'd love to hear more about your worldview. I am very fascinated. I also don't exactly know what they mean by escaping Mall World. Like, I'm guessing those people have their entire Mall World within the mall. Because for me, I can go outside and move around all I want. Is there a bound I can't cross? I really don't know. I'd actually love to talk to one of these people in a non-judgmental way, just to kind of figure out the full scope of their thoughts on this. But as far as I understand, it's kind of some wackadoo shit. Not only is Mall World super, super creepy, but there are other forms of shared dream phenomena, and I wonder how much these may or may not connect to Mall World. The most well-known sleep phenomena that we can probably imagine is sleep paralysis. Yep, gotta love those good old sleep paralysis demons. They're there for you when nobody else is. I don't know if I love that idea, but okay. But there are other super weird, like, dream physics that seem to apply to, like, most everyone, maybe not everyone, but it applies to a lot of people. Have you ever noticed in dreams that it's really hard to read or tell time on a clock? I've noticed this more often than not, that when I try to read, it's like I'm dyslexic all of a sudden. All the letters and numbers just become like random symbols and they'll jumble up, and once I start to understand what it's saying, it'll like change. I don't know how I don't always realize I'm dreaming once that happens. I guess I'm just stupid or something. So it's hard to read and tell time. I've also heard that light switches are a thing. I have never tested that. Apparently light switches don't usually work in dreams. They don't actually do anything. There's the whole like weird thing where you can't punch. Have you ever had that where you're in your dream and you're like real pissed and you want to beat the shit out of somebody, but you're just so weak. You're like a frail old man and you're just like using all your strength just to like love tap them the tiniest bit. One of the creepiest ones I've ever heard of actually hasn't made its rounds on the internet, but maybe I'm just ahead of the trends. One of my friends told me about how there's a creature that comes to you in your dreams. She kind of described what he looked like. As far as I remember, he was like a very short person, like a dwarf kind of, the size of a toddler. He's like a really weird, creepy looking little old man with like huge eyes, like an alien. And this guy, she referred to him as the gatekeeper, literally the gatekeeper of hell. That's the idea. So when this little guy comes to you in your dreams, he'll try to talk to you, he'll approach you. And if you talk to him, if you acknowledge him, that's where you fuck up and he takes you to hell. If you ignore him, then you'll just go on your merry way and continue your dream or maybe wake up. But if he takes you to hell, then basically you endure hell for what feels like eternity. As we know, dreams don't follow the same sense of time. You could have a dream where years and years pass. The concept here is it feels like it lasts an eternity while you burn and suffer. And that sounds like some creepypasta shit straight up, and normally I would not believe her story and think she just made it up if it weren't for one thing. A few weeks after that, after she told me about that, she also claimed to have seen the gatekeeper in her dream and that she spoke to him and went to hell. But then, from my mom's boyfriend, he was telling me the exact same story about the gatekeeper, the little creepy guy. I don't remember if he called him that, but I do know he's telling me about the little creepy guy, and if you talk to him, he tortures you for eternity, or what feels like eternity. I'm hearing two different people talking about that same thing. I'll tell you, I was scared to sleep for a while. If it were closer together, I would have thought it was like an organized prank, but it wasn't. So I don't know if this story holds any basis in like folklore or just an urban myth that already existed, or if they both just happened to make that up. I don't know. I don't know what's up with the gatekeeper thing, but that's like one of the creepiest dream phenomena. Then, last but not least, of course, you have shared dreams. Scientists really try to explain this one away in ways that don't make sense to me. Like, oh, you're close to the person, you're thinking about similar things. That doesn't convince me that two people would share the exact same dream. And some people like to deny that this happens at all. And I would have to like strongly disagree, super strongly disagree. I am like a little bit on the spiritual woo-woo side of things about some stuff. Not to a crazy person degree, but I believe in some woo-woo stuff. And I truly believe that like our souls and our consciousnesses are more connected than we can prove that they are. And shared dreams are great evidence of this, because it absolutely does happen. My mother told me one of her earliest dream memories was sharing a dream with her dad. I myself have shared a dream with my boyfriend one time. That's the only time that I'm aware of where I shared a dream with somebody. I can't tell you how quick my jaw dropped, my blood ran cold, I felt that chill down my spine and shit when this happened. It was insane. So I just woke up from this dream, and I was kind of salty, okay? You know how those cheating dreams are, and you wake up and you're mad? Like, that's exactly what it was. In my dream, I walked into the room, and my boyfriend was leaning over a bed over this woman, this random woman I didn't know, and he was kissing her. Obviously, I was super pissed and stormed off, and that's just kind of when I woke up. When I woke up, he was awake, and he was telling me, I had a dream that I walked in, and you're kissing my brother. And I'm just like, what? No fucking way you did. I didn't say anything about my dream yet. He told me about his first. And I was totally freaked out. Totally freaked out. So I asked him details, like exactly what happened in this dream. And he said that he walked into a room, saw me laying on the bed, and saw his brother leaning over me, kissing me. And it's even weirder because his brother is a twin, they're identical twins. So I don't know if we were actually seeing this like kind of swapped, or if we were seeing like the exact same thing, but interpreted differently. And I can't help but wonder if this shared dream phenomena has any connection to the mall world phenomena. Because we're all dreaming the same things, just with slightly different details, slightly different variants. In the shared dream, I saw my boyfriend and some woman. In his dream, he saw me and his brother. But the actions, the location, everything else the same. And that freaks me right out. Like I said, I think it's some psychological, weird brain jelly stuff. Our brains are literally like jelly computers, jelly meat computers. And they work in very weird ways. But I can't help but wonder if there's a deeper connection when stuff like that is happening. In fact, people are so convinced that this dream world is actually connected between us that people have tried to organize meetups in Mall World. I'm not sure that there's been any success. I haven't seen any posts specifically talking about a successful meetup, but there are posts on Reddit. The idea is, in your dream world, the next time you go to Mall World, wear yellow. Like, consciously think about wearing yellow so that you're wearing yellow in Mall World. And the only flaw with this is if you're expecting to see people wearing yellow, you might dream about people wearing yellow. So even if you meet someone in yellow and talk to them, that really doesn't prove that we are all connected through Mall World, but it's a good start. It really is a good start. I mean, I don't know how you could prove that, so it's better than nothing. I know, as usual, this topic wasn't exactly horror. That happens a lot here, but I sure found it spooky as shit. So I thought it fit. Seriously, when you really think about it, how creepy is that? How creepy is it that we are sharing a dream world and we are dreaming about the same places, all these different people all over the world? Because if you look at the Mall World subreddit, they have 21,000 followers. 21,000. And that doesn't necessarily mean each and every one of those people have visited Mall World, but I don't know why else you'd be there unless you have. Have you visited Mall World? What does your Mall World look like? Please let me know in the comments, because like I said, I'm still deep in this rabbit hole right now. Next time you go to sleep, don't forget to wear yellow in your dreams. And with that said, I'm Dia Ghoul, and I hope you had a spooky time. Like and subscribe if you want.